Welcome grade 12 UMS to Reading and Writing Synchronous Class. I am Miss Jyn Marian Eslava, your subject teacher. Today is June 26, 2021. For us to begin with our class for today, let's first listen to a liturgical song entitled Be Thou My Vision.
Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart, nor be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my best all, by day or by night. Be thou my wisdom, thou my true word. I ever with thee, thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, and I thy true Son.
Alright, so for me to find out if I am audible and the presentation is visible at your end, kindly type the word which is being presented on your screen using our chat box. Again, for me to find out if I am audible and the presentation is visible at your end, kindly type the word which is being presented on your screen. So kindly use our chat box and your response class will be counted as your attendance for today's synchronous class. Alright, so there are responses already on our chat box. So I guess you are now all ready for today's lesson. But before that, let's first have a recap about the discussion that we had last time. Okay, so more on we deal about academic writing and its various examples such as position paper, different types of essays. Also, we discussed about concept paper. So for now, I have here a quick activity wherein we will try to tap your ability in making inferences. So I have here a video that I want you to watch. So this one is entitled Let's Help Maria. So what is the problem of Maria and what is the possible solution that we can give to her for us to help Maria on her problem. So let's first watch this video. All right, so we have here Maria. So Maria, the one who is on the video, who is same with you, is a grade 12 UM student. And in a couple of months, she is about to graduate. So just like you are about to graduate. But what is the problem of Maria? Hey, so the problem of Maria, her family cannot support her in her financial needs for college. So what she is planning to? So she is planning to apply for a job so she can pay for her tuition fees. So what are the initial requirements do you think Maria has to prepare or she needs to prepare? If you are applying for a job, what are the things that you have first to prepare before going to the company where you are applying for? Okay, so possibly a initial requirement that she might need to prepare is an application letter, correct? Another can be what we call resume. So a good inferencing skills. So these two types of writing that you have mentioned are both classified as professional correspondence. So these are needed as you apply for a job. Okay, so we have here, as I have mentioned earlier, we have what we call professional correspondence, and professional correspondence reflects a person's level of competency and professionalism. So through this one, we can have our view about how competent this person is, how professional this person is. Okay, so why do you think a resume is an example of what we call professional correspondence? So you may say that since a resume is considered as a professional correspondence because it summarizes a person's personal, educational, and work experiences. Okay? Or possible, other may say that a resume will inform the employer about the skills or achievement that a person has. So for us to elaborate for today what a resume is and to help you apply for a job after you graduate, okay? So we will have here discuss about the different purposes, the types, and the relevant information that will be presented in this type of writing. Okay? So first, let's have this one. So at the end of the lesson, class, all of you, all the grade 12 students will be able to identify the unique features and requirements in composing a resume. Number 2, exemplify the correct use of writing process in writing a resume. And of course, produce a well-written resume. So you will find out what a resume is, how to write a resume, and how to produce an effective and a competent resume. So let's start, class. Okay. So a resume we have here, it is a brief document. Brief, just a short document, but a detailed one that summarizes your education, employment history, and experiences that are relevant to your qualifications for a particular job for which you are applying. So it is important, class, that before we write a resume, we first have to know the process of writing. So before we write a certain paper, you have to be familiar with pre-writing, the writing, and post-writing. So before writing, what are the things that we have to consider? While writing, what are the things that we have to consider? And of course, post-writing. So what are the things we have to view before we submit our paper? So let's have this one. The first one is what we call pre-writing. So before writing a resume, what are the things that we have to remember? So we have here role, audience, purpose, and content. In role, why do you think it is important, or what is role all about? So it is important before writing that you know who you are as a writer. So this one will help you use the right approach when it comes to writing, since you know who you are as a writer. So remember that when you are writing a resume, you are an applicant. And as an applicant, your aim is to have a schedule for an interview. So if your resume is competent enough, okay, so as you have this one, you will be scheduled for an interview from the company you are applying for. So this one, you have to know your role as a writer, and in a resume, you are an applicant. Number 2, we have audience. Audience, or the reader of your paper. So audience refers to the reader, and it is important to consider the receiver of the message to successfully communicate the intended message. Remember that the receiver of this writing could be your future employer. So you have to make it concise, clear. Always consider who will be reading your paper. Next is purpose. So before writing a resume, know your goal. Okay, what is your aim for this piece of writing? So your goal is to inform and persuade your potential employer. So you will try to inform your potential employer for the job you are applying for. And the last one is we have here the content, which is very important. So your paper must speak for yourself and must contain, of course, factual information only. Okay? So remember that factual information only, facts about your personal information, about your education, your experiences. So that should be factual. Okay? So content refers to the information that will be included in your writing. Okay? So we have finished with pre-writing, that you have to consider your role, who are you as a writer, your audience, who will be your readers, okay? So your employer, your purpose, okay? To have a schedule for an interview after presenting your resume, okay? To pursue the job you are applying for, and the content, the message that you want your employer to be informed about you. Okay? So those are the things that you have to remember in pre-writing process or before writing a resume. Now let's discuss what will be the content of your resume. So what are the important information to include in your resume? So we have here your personal information, education, skills and experiences, and other relevant information. Let's first have your personal information. What are the things that we have to indicate in this part? For the personal information, you may include here your full name, your address, complete address, a recent one, your phone number, the active phone number, your email, which is a professional and accurate email, your age, birth date, and other relevant information that you may include for personal information portion. The next one, for the education. For education, of course, it covers your educational background starting with the recent one. So this may also include educational achievement. For example, you have finished with high honors, you may indicate that one. The next one is skills and experiences. For the skills and experiences, you may indicate here your expertise and your relevant job experiences, so that you may present to your employer how competent you are and how qualified you are for the job you are applying for. Next, we have other relevant information. In this part, you have to remember that you have to indicate your corporate photo, a recent photo, so that even though you are not yet there in the company, as you submit your resume, your employer or the HR can see your picture. Okay? The next one is the character reference. Okay? So it should be included on your resume. Who are the persons they can refer to fully know about you. Okay, so the next other relevant information you may add up are the trainings and seminars that you have attended. So you may indicate the title of the seminar, okay, as well as the date when you had this type of seminar. And of course, at the bottom part, write your printed name. Okay, should not be forgotten with a signature above it. Okay, so it will be seen at the bottom part of your paper. So a guided notes will be provided for the students, for all of you, so that you can have your template on how to write your own resume. So this will be your guide, and I want you to always update your resume as you have your skills, as you have developed your work experiences and your qualification for the job you are applying for. I have here different examples of a resume, and I want you to observe the content of what this type of resume has, and later on we will try to differentiate the different examples of resume that will be given. This is the first one. We can find here a heading, objective, personal information, education. We have here skills, work exposure, contact person is your reference, and the signature at the bottom part. Another example, we have here another type of a resume. Again, we have the headings, personal information, education, eligibility, work experience, seminar attended, contact person is your reference, and your signature. For the last example of another type of a resume, we have here a resume which has a heading, personal information, education, eligibility, work experience, skills, seminar attended, and contact person as your reference. Now, upon observing all the different types of a resume, what have you observed with the following? You may say that in the first one, it emphasizes skills aside from personal information, education. We have the skills which is being emphasized. For the second one, you can find here the accentuated portion, which is the work experience. So if you already finished college or high school and you have your previous job, you may emphasize your work experiences. And for the last one, you may find here the mixed one. So not just the skills, but work experience is also presented in this type of resume. So within looking at the different types of resume, we can choose what resume suits with our qualification regards to the job we are applying for. Let's discuss the different types of a resume. So we have functional, chronological, and the hybrid. The first one, chronological, it focuses on your skills. So if you haven't had a lot of work experience, a functional resume that focuses on your skills is a good way to market yourself to potential employer. So for example, you're still a student or you just graduate from high school or college, so you may emphasize your skills, capabilities for you to tell your employer that you are qualified for the job you are applying for. The next one is a chronological resume. In this type of resume, it shows employers all your work experience, focusing on position you've held on your past responsibilities and accomplishment. So for example, you already have experiences, job experiences. You may put that on your resume to highlight it so that you may tell your employer that you are really qualified and you have exposure to the type of employment you are applying for. And the last one is what we call a hybrid resume. It combines the elements of functional and chronological. So combination of your skills as well as your experiences. So this type of resume is for you to create a resume that focuses heavily on skills but also includes dates, titles of previous jobs, along with the essential information about the position. So how they differ to one another. So this three type of resume, for functional, it emphasizes your skills. For chronological, it emphasizes your work experiences. And for the hybrid, it is the combination of the two, combination of your skills and experiences. So you may think, what type of resume suits to your qualification? Is it a functional? Is it a chronological? Or you may now start doing your hybrid resume. Now let's discuss what will be the content of your resume. So what are the important information to include in your resume? So we have here your personal information, education, skills and experiences, and other relevant information. Let's first have your personal information. What are the things that we have to indicate in this part? For the personal information, you may include here your full name, your address, complete address, a recent one, your phone number, the active phone number, your email, which is a professional and accurate email, your age, birth date, and other relevant information that you may include for personal information portion. The next one, for the education. For education, of course, it covers your educational background starting with the recent one. So this may also include educational achievement. For example, you have finished with high honors, you may indicate that one. The next one is skills and experiences. For the skills and experiences, you may indicate here your expertise and your relevant job experiences so that you may present to your employer how competent you are and how qualified you are for the job you are applying for. Next, we have other relevant information. In this part, you have to remember that you have to indicate your corporate photo, a recent photo, so that even though you are not yet there in the company, as you submit your resume, your employer or the HR can see your picture. Okay? The next one is the character reference. Okay? So it should be included on your resume. Who are the persons they can refer to fully know about you. Okay? So the next other relevant information you may add up are the trainings and seminars that you have attended. So you may indicate the title of the seminar, okay, as well as the date when you had this type of seminar. And of course, at the bottom part, write your printed name. Okay, should not be forgotten with a signature above it. Okay, so it will be seen at the bottom part of your paper. So a guided notes will be provided for the students, for all of you, so that you can have your template on how to write your own resume. So this will be your guide, and I want you to always update your resume as you have your skills, as you have developed your work experiences and your qualification for the job you are applying for. let's move on for the last part of writing a resume. So this one is very important for you to see that your paper is competent enough and accurate when it comes to all the information that you indicate on your paper. So let's have revising and editing. Why is it important to review your paper after putting all the contents needed? Remember that a resume must be reviewed thoroughly before submitting it to the company you are applying for. See to it that your paper only includes factual information about you. Now, let's practice. Let's try to write your own resume. From the types of resume that we discussed, choose and compose an appropriate type that fits to your qualification with the job you want to apply. We have here criteria for writing your resume. You will be graded based on the organization of the content, 50%, the content, the information that you will indicate, 50%, a total of 100%. So you may use the template that will be provided, the guided notes that will be provided. Now, let's wrap up. What are the lessons you have learned from resume writing? How beneficial it is in the future? A resume is a reflection of one's professional persona. It states one's personal information relating to education, experiences, and achievements. So, learning how to construct one will be beneficial since it is one of the factors why your employer will hire you. For your asynchronous tasks, kindly answer. Determine whether the statement is true or false that you may find on your module. The next one, kindly gather advertisement on job vacancies or research from newspaper or internet. Choose those that relate to your future professions. Alright, so thank you for joining our synchronous class for today. I hope you learned something from reading and writing class. I hope that just like Maria, you know now what to prepare before applying for a job. Hopefully, this lesson will be beneficial to your career and land for the job you look forward to have. This is Reading and Writing class. I am Ms. Jyn Eslava and see you in our next synchronous class.